Happy Friday, guys. Welcome back. This is Dave. Thanks so much for watching. Today, I wanted to get you caught up on how my portfolio has been doing lately. I've been talking a lot about specific companies and space stock news, and not so much about my own portfolio returns and the trades I've been doing. So I just wanted to get caught up on that. And you can pat yourself on the back and say good job if you've been outperforming me, because I expect many of you probably have out there. I'm just a regular investor. I don't claim to be, a complete oracle with a crystal ball here or anything like that. Before we dive into that, though, I hope you'll consider subscribing by the end of the video if you do enjoy it. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and share my portfolio's performance with you right now. So first of all, just checking in how we're doing after 1 year. And right now, on a 1 year basis, I'm up 7.5%. So I would say that's pretty decent. That's kind of fine. It's not really what you're looking for as a investor holding individual companies as opposed to just ETFs. You could probably get something like this just holding broad basket ETFs on average, perhaps over the long term, although the markets have been really choppy over the past couple of years. So I'm not too upset by this number. I think it's, it's pretty solid and definitely room for improvement. However, if we go back just to mid-July, I was looking at a 20% return over the past year. So what that tells you is there has been quite a solid drop lately in terms of at least my portfolio, the performance going from 20% gains to only 7% gains, 7.5, I should say. Pretty rough few months for me, but still happy to be in the positives after a completely atrocious couple years, basically from 2021 to, the start of 2023. Zooming out a little bit more on a 3-year basis, you can see the volatility has been wild for me. Starting off obviously at 0% over a 3-year. I had an amazing 80% return overall before we did have that absolute plummet that we all went through together and was extremely painful. It was a very dark time for me in my portfolio. Difficult to get through. Let me know in the comments what the darkest time was for you with investing. Curious to hear how you got through it, if you had to throw in the towel and sell some of your stocks, or you just held on and kept believing in the companies that you had picked. For me, I did hold on to some of my biggest losers over this time, and I was kind of rewarded with quite a bounce back from -40 to +40%. Really wild ride. So now over a 3-year time horizon, we're looking quite a lot better, sitting at around 42-ish% up, I believe. If you average that out over 3 years, now we're starting to cook here. We're starting to look like we have more solid returns. And then just the returns on some of the space stocks that I do follow more closely and talk to you guys about. Unfortunately, my Rocket Lab shares are split between 3 different accounts, and my broker didn't really have a good way of combining them in the view for the website, which is a little annoying. But basically, we have in account 1 around 1,300 shares with a cost basis of $404. Account 2, we have another 3,497 shares. Don't ask me why we're 3 shy of the, making it a round number. That's just kind of silly. Anyway, average cost there, 408. And average cost in this other account, a bit higher. That was from when I first started adding Rocket Lab while it was still on the way down. We had 5,000 shares with the average cost of 501. Oh yeah, now I know why it's an odd number, because this one's an odd number. Add them all up, you have 10,000 shares. Nice round number. I was pretty happy to get to that during the original downtrend of Rocket Lab, before they had a more recent bounce back and then another downtrend. Anyway, we are now underwater on our cost basis overall. So anyone else sitting at a loss, yeah, I'm at a loss with you. We were at a big gain not very long ago, and then we had, the Peter Beck sales, the launch failure, all the rest bringing me down to a loss. But on the positive side, I did say like I'm satisfied with this number of shares, but I would be open to adding more if I'm lowering my cost basis. And now that we are underwater, I could average down by adding more shares. I'm thinking about doing that right now. The other company I do have in the space sector right now anyway, Planet Labs, a much smaller position, only 600 shares, and those shares are only going for about $262, so not a ton of money. Obviously done very poorly on that. It's a pretty short term. I only bought it relatively recently, and they did have, bad results in a recent quarter. So in terms of Planet Labs, I could definitely add more. I could definitely average down. Let's talk about that a little bit further on. But these are the results I've had so far in the space companies I personally hold. Going on to next moves. Well, currently, I did talk about this previously. I do have an outstanding put I sold on Rocket Lab, which means if Rocket Lab is below $4 per share on October 13th, I do have to buy 1,000 shares of the company. I don't expect it to be below that level, but it is possible. And to be honest, I think I wouldn't mind it being below that level and buying these shares, because basically I got paid $150 to make this trade. If it stays above 4, I keep it all. If it goes below 4, I buy it. Buying it at a cost basis of 3.8 is really A-okay with me. And obviously getting free money is also A-okay with me. So this is one of those trades I consider a win-win. But I will be adding more if the share price does drop below $4 on October 13th. And also, just separately from that, I have been thinking about adding more, as I said previously, now that we're below my cost basis again. I'm going to be watching closely. Definitely will consider it. I might add more, definitely thinking about that. I could also add more for Planet Labs because that had a really large collapse. It's something I've been thinking about. But with Planet Labs, I just have to recognize that I'm not personally as much of an expert on it as Rocket Lab, which makes it tough. And I do want to research it further. I just haven't really had the time to go into as much depth on the company as I have with Rocket Lab. So that would be the only issue there. It's dropped further, so it could potentially, be perhaps more of a bargain. But my personal expertise is not where I'd want it to be to go really heavy on the company yet. And then I did just start looking into MDA, a Canadian space company. They are looking pretty strong. They're getting a lot of big contracts lately, mostly on the satellite manufacturing side of things. They did subcontract that Globalstar deal to Rocket Lab, and they did get another big contract. I think it was with Telesat for another satellite constellation. So they're looking quite good. An interesting company I have not bought yet, but one I'm keeping my eye on, and that could be a potential next move for me as well. And then on the Tesla front, yes, I am a Tesla shareholder. I don't talk about it that much because there's so many other Tesla channels, and a lot of you guys don't seem to be too interested in Tesla, but just for the sake of completeness and openness, I think I have too many Tesla shares. I did get put some shares a while back, so if you're not as familiar with options, basically, I have more shares than I want right now in Tesla, but I do want a good price for them, and what I've been doing is selling covered calls on them. Basically, I sold covered calls, giving someone the right to buy Tesla away from me if it hits a certain level, which it I guess luckily enough did not hit. So I made $4,000 selling covered calls expiring basically today. I made, again, about $3,000 selling covered calls that were expiring on August 16th. This was a big one, $5,500 minus commissions and some of the rest for covered calls expiring on August 16th. Getting these juicy premiums because Tesla's been sitting right around the level where I've been trying to sell it, but not quite hitting that mark when these do happen to expire. So kind of taking advantage and generating some additional money before I do bring that Tesla position to the level where I want it. And yes, I still am a Tesla bull. I'm kind of overweight on Tesla right now, but definitely do plan to hold some shares for the long term. They do have a very exciting product roadmap, including FSD, Tesla Semi, Cybertruck, all the rest. I won't go into too much detail. I know some people really hate Tesla for some reason. It's quite a volatile topic. But yeah, that is some money I've been making over the last 5 or 6 months on Tesla. I'm pretty pleased with how those trades have gone. But once it does finally get called away from me, I will be happy with that as well. So all my options trades, I do try to find like a win-win situation, or what I would call a win-win. By the way, if you're looking for a new broker, I am with Interactive Brokers. I do recommend it. They have quite low margin rates as well as low commissions on trades. This is the referral. All my friends who are referred by me can get up to $1,000 in IBKR stock, and I can earn a bit as well. So if all you guys, of course, I consider my friends watching the channel, if you feel like switching to a new broker and want to support at the same time, maybe we can get a new webcam or something like that. This one keeps crashing. It's starting to drive me crazy. So that's it for me today. Let me know down below with your humble brag if you are beating me over the last 3 years or the last 1 year. Always interested to see. We did run in the Discord an investing competition for a while where everyone could put their percentage returns and make a kind of fun competition of it. Haven't been doing that so much lately, but let me know if you'd be interested in resuming that. And that is where my portfolio is sitting right now and how we've done over the last 3 years. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Hope you have a great weekend. Bye for now.